I compiled the 7 most important things you need to know if you actually want your habits to stick. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through all of them. But not only that, I'll also be giving you some free resources for you to use, along with one secret trick that was a complete game changer for me. But before we get to that, we have to understand how to start. When you're just starting a new habit, it's important to make it easy on yourself. Make it so easy that it would be hard to fail. If you want to start working out, start with just a few push-ups each day. If you want to read more, read only a few pages at first. The reason you should do this is because starting a new habit is always the hardest part. Once you've been doing it for a while, it will get much easier. That's when you can start adding more load. At the end of the day, the most important part here is making sure that you can get the ball rolling. Don't rush yourself. Start small, and success will follow. Part 2. Fix your environment. An important part of building new habits is adjusting your environment to suit them. Odds are the environment you're in isn't necessarily designed with your new habits in mind. Your pantry being stuffed with junk food won't make it easier to eat healthier. Your phone having social media and games loaded front and center won't make it easier to go out and socialize. If you want to change your habits, it's also important to change your surroundings. You don't have to go all out at first, just take the first step. Put the junk food in a hard-to-reach place. Tuck those apps into a far-away corner. The goal is to make your bad habits more difficult, while making your good habits easier. Next time you buy food, pick the option you know you truly want. Next time you open your phone, make sure you're using it for good reasons. What you'll find is that by setting up your environment with your new habits in mind, you'll start winning more often. On nights where you would have originally forgot about your new habit, you'll find yourself doing it anyway. Habits usually take about 2 months to set in, but by setting up your surroundings in the right way, you can build your habits even faster. Part 3. Making more good days. Starting your day with a small, easy win, like making your bed or drinking a glass of water, is one of the most underrated tools for building better habits. It might seem minor, but knocking out a quick, simple task first thing in the morning actually sets the tone for the rest of your day. That little win gives you a small dopamine boost and a sense of momentum, and that momentum is huge when it comes to sticking to other habits later in the day. Even something that takes under a minute, like a quick stretch, can help shift your mindset into one of action and progress. On top of that, having a go-to morning habit acts as a mental reminder that you're working on improving yourself. It can trigger your awareness of other habits you're trying to build, whether that's exercising later, eating healthier, or limiting your screen time. Think of it as setting a domino in motion. One tiny act of discipline leads to another. It's simple but incredibly effective when practiced consistently. Part 4. Habit stacking. One of the best ways to build a new habit is by using something called habit stacking. It's a simple but powerful strategy that involves linking a new habit you want to build with something you already do consistently. The idea is that instead of trying to remember to do the new habit out of nowhere, you attach it to an existing part of your routine. For example, you might say, after I brush my teeth, I'll do 10 push-ups, or right after I pour my morning coffee, I'll write down 3 things I'm grateful for. This works because the habit you already do acts as a natural reminder. Your brain doesn't have to work as hard to remember or stay motivated because it's already following a routine it knows. Habit stacking makes new habits easier because it takes advantage of the structure that's already in your day. You're not starting from scratch or forcing a new behavior into a random moment. Instead, you're simply adding on to something that's already locked in. Over time, this pairing becomes second nature, and the new habit starts to feel just as automatic as the original one. Plus, stacking habits creates a sense of flow. You knock out one task and immediately move to the next. It builds momentum, saves time, and increases the chances you'll actually stick with the new habit. By using habit stacking to pair new and old habits together, you'll find the process becomes much easier. Part 5. Adjust your identity. When it comes to building habits that actually stick, one of the most powerful things you can do is shift how you see yourself. Most people focus on what they want to do, like, I want to start running, or I want to eat healthy. But real change starts when you shift your focus from actions to identity. Instead of saying, I want to run, start telling yourself, I'm a runner. That small change in language makes a big difference because your identity drives your behavior. When you start to believe something about yourself, your actions naturally follow. Think about it. If you see yourself as a runner, you're more likely to lace up your shoes even when you don't feel like it, because that's what runners do. If you see yourself as someone who eats healthy, you're more likely to choose the salad over fast food, because that fits the identity you're building. It's not about being perfect from day one. It's about casting votes for the type of person you want to become. Every time you show up, even in a small way, you're proving to yourself that you are that person. This identity-based approach also helps with long-term consistency. Motivation comes and goes, but identity is more stable. It becomes part of who you are. And once that happens, habits start to feel less like chores and more like something you just do, like brushing your teeth. So if you're serious about building better habits, stop thinking only about what you want to achieve. Start thinking about who you want to become and align your daily actions with that vision. Over time, the habits will follow naturally. Part 6. Tracking your progress. You've probably heard the saying, what gets measured gets managed. And when it comes to building good habits, that couldn't be more true. If you're not tracking your progress, you're basically flying blind. You might think you're improving, but without any real data, it's easy to fool yourself. That's why tracking your habits is so important. It keeps you honest, gives you clarity, and shows you exactly where you're doing well and where you're slipping. Using a tracker helps you spot patterns. For example, if you notice you always miss your workouts on Mondays, maybe that's a sign you need to switch your rest day or adjust your schedule. You can't make those kinds of smart tweaks if you're not keeping track. You can also make checking in on your habit tracker your daily easy win. Part 7. If not A, then B. When it comes to building habits, one of the most important things you can do is prepare for the days when things don't go as planned. That's where an if not A, then B strategy really shines. If your original plan for doing a habit can't happen for any reason, you've already got a backup plan in place. Think of it as having a safety net so you don't completely fall off track. Let's say your goal's to go for a 30-minute run every morning, plan A. But maybe one day it's pouring rain or you overslept or you're just not feeling up to it. Instead of skipping the habit altogether, you've already decided, if I can't go for a run, then I'll do 15 minutes of indoor bodyweight exercises. That's plan B. It still keeps your momentum going and reinforces the identity you're building. Like, I'm someone who works out consistently. This approach works best when both parts of the plan are pre-decided and realistic. You don't want to be scrambling in the moment, trying to figure out what to do instead. So take a few minutes to think through your top habits and ask yourself, what's a smaller, simpler version I can fall back on if needed? Make sure plan B is so easy that there's almost no reason not to do it. The benefit here isn't just about staying consistent, it's about keeping your brain in the habit loop. Skipping a day entirely breaks the rhythm, but doing something, even if it's smaller, tells your brain, I still showed up, and that builds confidence, discipline, and long-term success. So next time you plan a habit, build in a backup.